Hi everyone, welcome back to Families in an Electronic World. This is the week of February 2nd, and this week we're going to be starting what I think really is kind of the centerpiece for the course, and that is the discussion boards. Because in the discussion boards we have an opportunity to kind of talk about the materials we've been reading and watching, and then compare them to our own experiences. How how much does what we've read resonate with our own experiences? Videos that we've seen, what do we think about them in terms of our own experiences related to families and technology? So this week there should be, if you go to the discussion section of the D2L page, there should be a discussion that you can enter into. As I mentioned on the video, or excuse me, the email I sent you earlier this week, there'll be 6 or 7 people all together in your group, and you'll be with those folks throughout the duration of the semester. And in addition, either I or Caitlin Mazza, who's the graduate assistant for this course, will also jump in and be a part of those discussions. So I'm looking forward to having a good, lively discussion online about the things that we watched and read last week, the videos by Broadbent and Turkle, and the reading by Hertline and Bloomer. This week, I have a couple more readings for you and a video. And if you remember, the readings I have for you this week and the video will be part of our discussion next week. But I want you to read and watch the stuff this week so that you'll be ready for the discussion when it comes up next week. So let me say just a little bit about what we have in store for you this week. And the theme this week really has to do with how do all these technological changes and how does social media affect who we are as people. And I have a couple of readings for you. One is a paper that actually somebody wrote as a course project for this course a little over a year ago. And during the course of the semester, she decided that for 1 week she was going to live without her cell phone, and she kept a diary of that experience. And so when I read it, I thought, well, this is really fascinating. This is a great paper. It really talks about her experience in doing that. And so I'd like for you to read that. It'll also give you an example of what a course project looks like. But primarily, the reason I'm having you read it is because you can kind of see how does a cell phone, at least in this particular person's life, how does it become part of who she is and part of her identity. A second piece I have for you is from the Child Mind Institute, and this one is talks about some of the potential risks or challenges that go along with being connected and online. Obviously, there's lots of great things that go along with it, but there are also a few challenges. And so this article talks about some of the challenges that are related to that. And then finally, I have a video for you to watch. It's from a Frontline special. Frontline is a PBS show that does documentaries about all sorts of topics, and occasionally they'll do one having to do with the topic of this course. And Generation Like, which is the name of this particular show, is one of those. And Generation Like talks about the phenomenon of likes and retweets and all those pieces that are a part of Facebook and Twitter and other sorts of social media. And it talks about, how does it impact us, and how does it become a part of who we are. And so what I want you to do is to watch the first 19 or 20 minutes of that. You can watch the whole thing. It's a fascinating documentary. The last 2/3 really talks about sort of the business side of likes and how people are taking that and turning it into financial gain. But the first third is what I really want us to focus on for this course, having to do with how does all this social media, how do likes and all that kind of stuff, how does it impact how we see ourselves as individuals. Let me circle back to the discussion board for just a moment and mention something I neglected to mention earlier. I just want to remind you if you have questions about it, to go back to the syllabus or to go back to the video that I made last week about the discussion board to get an idea about what it is I'm hoping to accomplish and what it is I'm looking for in a good discussion. And in fact, you can also go to the grading rubric that's found on the content page. But basically it's this. There's three things, just as a quick reminder. I'm looking for you to participate in this discussion throughout the week so that it's an ongoing discussion and not something that you sort of parachute in to on the last day or the first day or whatever, and then the discussion really doesn't, it's really just a series of comments that people are making, but there's not back and forth. The second thing I'm looking for is that back and forth interaction. So not only you commenting on the initial discussion starter that I have, and I'd like everybody to comment on that, but also commenting on the comments of others, because that's really how a discussion takes place. And then the third thing I'm looking for is you're being able to tie the ideas that you have back to the readings and videos, things we're reading and watching, because I want to be able to make the connection about what we're reading in the literature, what we're seeing in these videos, and how we experience that in real lives. So, looking forward to some good discussions this week. I'll be on, or Caitlin Mazza, who is the graduate assistant, may be on in some of the groups, and I think we're going to have some great discussion. I'm really looking forward to it. See you online.